Your thoughts on going with Teddy?
Yeah, I think as we've talked about all camp, there was constant discussion about who was going to be the starting quarterback, and the reason is because they were both doing very well, and we felt like we could win with both guys, and that's why there was constant discussion. And there was quite a bit of it, and it happened from day one of the competition. Intentionally, we tried to hit it right down the middle with number one reps with team, number one reps with 7-on-7 for both guys, pretty much right down the middle with the 2 preseason games as well. And but I think it's safe to say, we named Teddy the starter, and we're thrilled about him moving forward. But it's safe to say everybody here should see the great improvement that Drew has made and how tremendously he handled that competition. And now he understands he's one play away from going in there and having to win football games. And so he understands what it takes to be a pro quarterback and how to prepare himself, but yet help prepare the starter. And so we got a really good room there. We had a great competition, and the reality of this is we have a starter, we have a backup, and then we have Rip, who's done a great job as well, and we feel good moving forward.
Coach, can you give any specific examples of what Teddy did to win the job?
Nothing specific. I think it's a full body of work, and I think, as I mentioned, it was a tough decision, very close. I think Coach tried to frame it, if both guys aren't playing well, that's tough. And if one's really playing great and the other one's not, it's easy, But I feel like they were both competing at a high level and playing well, and we feel good about it.
What was the difference?
We just feel like he gives us the best chance to start week 1 and beyond, and that's why we did it. Yeah, that's a good question. Once you get to this phase of the year, continue to get all the reps. We're going to have a setting here where, he's going to get some reps throughout the weeks. If we got a rack of 8 plays, he'll get 2. So we continue with his development. And then you always, this time of year, whether you're the starter or the backup, you have to the Air Force here is trying to usually it's some other noise, but anyways, they just have to make sure they get their reps, whether it's working with the scout team or an individual.
Would you be inclined to have to play a little more scout team because the defense is so good that he'd be going against, or you kind of want to focus on?
No, typically the backups play scout team, and so if there's 8 reps on the scout team, the primary backup will probably get 6 of them, and then Rip will probably get the other third, so to speak.
Vic has used the term manipulate the pocket regarding Teddy recently. Is that something that is taught, or is it something the guys come in the league with just that innate ability?
No, I think Teddy does do a good job of working the pocket. Teddy was trained as sort of a West Coast quarterback coming out of college. He's been trained all along to work his feet through the pocket. He did a lot of under center through his career, so he's able to kind of take a drop and then work through his pocket. And he does the same thing in the shotgun. And so even though he's worked on it, it comes very naturally. It's very natural for him. What comes to mind the other night was the 4th down that he threw the in cut to Jerry Jeudy, where it got late in the down and he was hitching through the pocket. It was great protection because it was nice and firm. The edge rushers were up the field, and he worked his way through and was able to keep the play alive and make a play. So that's one example of doing it. He's worked on it for many years, and it comes naturally to him. But it comes naturally, but he's worked on it, and I think that's a credit to him.
You had Teddy back. You had Teddy back in Minnesota. Obviously, he was hurt then. But
yeah.
What does he do better now? Kind of in addition to that, climbing the pocket and pocket presence. What does he do better now than he did when you had him 5 years ago?
I don't know. I see the same Teddy I saw then. Sadly, he got hurt while I was there as well. So, and then we moved on with other quarterbacks. But having watched him perform and being around him and coached him a little bit. You saw a guy that could do the things that you're witnessing now.
To see from Portland and his limited snaps this weekend to let you know he's ready?
Yeah, I think the game reps are important for him. You know, he's kind of been, and we've talked about this throughout the camp. Now we got horns going, and maybe it's time for me to quit talking. But we need to see him get out there. I think it'll be good for him. This is kind of the next phase of his recovery, and he's done a great job in practice. And just go out and play good football. Run good, crisp routes. If he's asked to block, do his business, and then catch the ball.
Is the rapport that Drew got with KJ and Jerry last year, how much do those young guys, what kind of help can you eventually take on the young guys, the youngsters?
Yeah, I think, you know, a guy that's played in the league, just like a guy that's coached for a very long time, you know, you're able to provide perspective. You know, I think that's what experience brings to the table. And it doesn't need to be anything specific. Sometimes it's subtle. But that's what a guy who's played in the league as long as Teddy has can bring to really all the players he's playing with.
Drew said yesterday that one of the things that he's learned the most from Teddy is just how he communicates with players and coaches. Can you kind of describe that to us? How does Teddy communicate that maybe is special?
Well, I think Drew does a good job, and he's getting better at it as well. But you know, it's sort of a natural communication process. You know, I don't have to say much to him when we're either making a correction or I'm giving him an attaboy. But how he communicates with the line, how he works in the huddle, and you know, he's done it for a very long time. He was in a huddle as a quarterback in college. He's been in a huddle through his career in the NFL. Sadly, for young quarterbacks, that's a big piece of this that a lot of them miss because they're always in the shotgun looking at the sideline. There's not much communication going on in college. So although it seems simple, there's a lot that goes into it that quarterbacks, when they come out of college into this league, need to learn. And so Drew sort of mentioning that tells me that, you know, he's watching it and he's seeing how it has to be done.
What do you see from Alberto that suggests to you he can slide in and make an impact early?
Well, he's a little bit, in my mind, he's kind of where Cortland is, right? He's coming back from injury. I see them as kind of the same player right now, and they're going to get their first snaps in this game. So he's got to go out and bang around, you know, block his guy, you know. If we throw him the ball, catch it and run with it, you know. So needs to go out there and do stuff that looks like football. You know?
What do you as coaches tell Garrett Bowles when he kind of has those moments with Bradley Chubb and things get heated out there?
Well, I mean, I've obviously, you know, in practice, things get competitive, you know. I think it's important that we all maintain our composure, you know, as competitive as we are. I think the longer we're involved in this business, we understand that, you know, once you just got to keep your composure. But you know, I think Garrett's done a great job this camp. I wouldn't say anything different than that.
Do you think Chubb was out of line yesterday?
I'm not going to talk about all that. I mean, I've been doing this long enough where these are highly competitive guys that get after it. They all love each other. They're terrific teammates. We're all Broncos, and you know, every once in a while we butt heads. I mean, that's no different. I'm sure you guys argue about stuff amongst you know, right? Who asked too many questions? Who asked the wrong questions? Who asked my question? I'm sure you guys, you know, butt heads a little bit too.
You just don't fight each other physically. So you'd like to.
Well, we don't know that, do we? We're not really where.
What kind of growth have you seen from Deontay Spencer as a wide receiver?
Yeah, I think he's made huge progress. You know, I think he made a couple catches the other night. He made a big one in that 2-minute drive before the half that kind of put us in a position to kick the field goal. But he's just getting better. You know, he had a little stretch there. He was out with the knee thing, but he seems to be back and ready. And, you know, if he's our returner, then he's going to be active and, you know, he'll be in there doing receiver things. So he just got to keep getting better.
Thank you very much.
Okay.